so sad. All right, you guys, this is our last story tonight. And our storyteller is Bobby Clow. Hartford area treasurer Bobby and her husband David were also at our first show and have been fixtures in our audience and in our community. Early on, I think the first show that Bobby was in was our second show at Real Art Ways. And I remember somebody was like, well, you have celebrities. And I was like, what, And they said, do you have Bobby Clow? And just as I was coming in tonight, a woman behind me was saying, well, she's famous, and she is. She's our Hartford area celebrity, famous Bobby Clow. When I asked, what was that? No pressure. Bobby, you don't achieve the status that you have achieved without having well earned it. So there's no pressure. But yes, everyone expects you to do great because you always do great. There's nowhere to go but great. Everything you do is amazing. So, when I asked Bobby to tell me about her favorite ever birthday present, she referred back to one of my favorite ever Speak Up stories. If you've been around Speak Up for a long time, you remember, and this is what she said, there have been so many birthdays. I still think my favorite was my 40th when David asked me what I wanted. And I said, I can't do this, Bobby, only you can do this. She said, but David asked me what I wanted, and I said something gorgeous and sexy and black, and he called Harry Belafonte. But Harry was not available. So David gave me a black satin nightgown that I could never fit into because he totally underestimated the size of my hips. I love that nightgown, and it led me to tell one of my favorite stories at Speak Up, and one of our favorite stories to hear. You're one of a kind, Bobby, and we can't wait to hear your story tonight. Please welcome Bobby Clow.
Yes. Kate, first I have to say, we have a lot in common. Because my daughter, who was sitting in the 1, 2, 3rd row, was also one of my, really, I was really thinking about that black satin nightgown so much that it slipped my mind that you were born on my birthday. But we celebrate together. And once I said to her, do you feel badly that you don't have a birthday all to yourself? And she said, no, Mom, I love that we do it together. And that was also another great birthday gift from my kid. So, it's a Wednesday morning, late in February this year, and I am in one of my happy places. I am in the heated workout pool at the Mandel JCC, where I am taking a class in water aerobics. So I am in the water, and I am bouncing, and I am dancing, and I am hopping, and I am jumping and kicking and leaping and tossing and twisting and turning. And I am very well aware that if I ever tried to do any of those things on solid ground, I would dislocate or break whatever bone. But in the water, I am free. I have my blue triangular water weights, and I have my long yellow noodle, and I feel strong, and I feel confident. and I forgot the next line. I got it. I feel kind of like a gray-haired Gal Gadot. You know, I mean, I'm elderly, but when I am in the water, I am another Jewish Wonder Woman. Now, the instructor in the Wednesday morning class is this terrific guy who, to me, personifies the word rhythm with a capital R. I mean, Dancing with the Stars, forget about it. This guy has moves that I have never seen before. And while he's showing us what we should be doing, he's also doing a lot of moving. He's jacking it up. He is rocking and rolling. He is swinging and swaying. He is grinding and he is gyrating. He is a human Gumby. A human Gumby. And I gotta say something that is probably terribly inappropriate at the moment, under the circumstances. And the circumstances are that I am an 88-year-old mother of 5, a grandmother of 16, and a great-grandmother of 4. If you don't know what the spitting is about, ask the Jewish person sitting next to you. Anyhow, I'm sorry, this is a little hard. Give me a minute. Where was I? Inappropriate. Okay. So that, thank you. So you all help. I love. Okay. So it's inappropriate because of all those things, but I am going to say it. That this guy has the cutest tush. And he also has a playlist of songs from the 50s all the way up. They're wonderful. And he knows the lyrics to every single song in his playlist. And so he's singing along with the exercise, with the music, and I'm singing along with him, and the rest of the class is all joining in if they know the lyrics, and they're singing, and we're having a pool party. I mean, I love it. I just love it. So about 3/4 of the way through the class, he says, okay, we got a new song I want to try today. I think it's really good. Great for stretching and moving. Actually, it's not a new song, it's an oldie. It's from the 70s. But I think you're going to recognize it. And he starts swiping his what's this? And he gets the music and he hits it. The music starts. And it is Debbie Boone. And she is singing her song, her hit song from 1977. You light up my life, you give me hope to carry on. And all of a sudden, I am sobbing. I mean, I'm also moving, but I'm sobbing. And I'm hoping that nobody's looking at me. And I hope that nobody realizes that the level of the water is rising. Because I am toast. Well, the music finally ends. Debbie stops singing, I stop sobbing, and the class goes on and it finishes. So I hop into the hot tub. I don't hop anymore, actually. I slowly ease myself into the hot tub, and I sit for a few minutes, and then I get in the shower, and I get dressed, and I go on with the day. Now, at this point, I have to share something with you, a bit of background information. My husband, David, died last August. 6 weeks before our 64th wedding anniversary. So, he was a really special guy. I think most of the people here who knew him would attest to that. He was a really special guy. Well, okay, he wasn't perfect. And I am far from perfect. But I gotta tell you, we really had a special thing going between us. So, I'm really getting old. Oh, I'm sorry for the silences. After the funeral, after the Shiva, when I tried to start getting my head on straight again, I talked to a number of friends of mine who were widows and widowers. There are a lot of us around. And I said, can you help me? Give me some help here. How do I deal with this? How do you go through this terrible trauma? I mean, this is the hardest thing that I ever have had to do in my whole life. And my friends were terrific. A bunch of them said, Bobby, say yes. Say yes to invitations, to brunch, to dinner, to lectures, to music, whatever. Say yes. And say yes to being with people. Do not sit in your apartment. Be with people. And say yes to engaging in life. Say yes. And another friend said to me, don't eat cereal for dinner. And I got it. You know, take care of yourself, keep yourself healthy, and when you sit down for dinner all by yourself, take the time to either order in or fix yourself something simple but substantial. So you treat yourself like a whole human being, even though you feel like half of you is missing. And then one very, very wise friend said to me, Bobby, get ready for the Stugs, because they're going to be with you for a long time. And I said, Stugs? And she said, S-T-U-G-S. Sudden, temporary upsurges of grief. And they're going to be with you wherever and whenever, and you can't control them. And you could be driving in the car, or you could be reading a book and something will hit you, or somebody will say something and you'll fall apart, or you'll look at a picture, or you'll have a flashback of a memory, or you'll be watching a television program or even a commercial, or you'll be hearing a song lyric. And that, of course, is what happened to me in the workout pool at the JCC on that Wednesday morning. So a few mornings later, after that morning in the pool, I woke up and I realized that it was another anniversary. it was the 7-month anniversary of his death. And so I reached out and I put my hand on the pillow next to mine, and he still wasn't there. Death, my friends, is maddeningly permanent. So I had a stub, and then I got up, and I got in the shower, and I got dressed, and I faced the day. But something happened. Something happened. I looked in the mirror, and I was seeing what I had seen for the last 6 months, a sad, grieving woman. And I said to myself, okay, Bobby, that's what you are, and that's what you're going to be for a long time to come. But Bobby, that is not all you are. So you've got to do something to change the way you see yourself in that mirror. So I thought about it for about 3.5 minutes, and I called my daughter, the one who lives locally, and she came over that day with the necessary equipment, and an hour later, voila. And I looked in the mirror and I said, oh, that is really purple. And then I thought about it and I looked and I said, yes. And I said, I knew I was doing that for myself. That was my thought. It was for me just to see myself differently in that mirror. But who knew that the law of unintended effects was going to come into play? And from that day on till tonight, in this auditorium, remarkable things have been happening. I have been, first of all, I get some very fishy-eyed stares from people. But I have been looked at, I have been approached, I have been waved at, and I have been thumbed up at by young, old, black, white, brown, men, women, whatever. And they all say, everybody's got a comment. Love the haircut. Wow, look at that purple. I love that purple. That is great, whatever. And I just smile, you know, and I say thanks, and they smile back. And it's been going, and it goes on, and they're everywhere. I mean, some of them are friends, but most of them, hello, Clara. Some of them are total strangers. I walked in and Clara said, I love your hair. You know, so, and it happens everywhere. I mean, wherever I go, parking lots, supermarkets, doctor's offices, dentist's office. You've got to take care of your teeth, people. Okay? The state capitol, even at a funeral. And so after a couple of weeks, I realized that there was a change in me. I was happy. I was smiling a lot, and I was happy, and I felt good inside. And it lasted about 2.5 days, and then I started to feel guilty. How could I be happy? David wasn't even gone a year. I mean, 8 months, 9 months, and I'm happy? How could that, what kind of a person am I? And it really had me down. And so I talked to a friend of mine, and I mentioned it. I said, you know, I'm feeling so guilty. And she looked at me and she said, Bobby, which would you rather do? Would you rather feel guilty or would you rather feel happy? So I said, happy, but it's too soon, it's too soon. And she just looked at me. And so I thought about it. And I realized that I have choices. I have choices. And so right on the spot there, I made two choices. And the first one is that I'm going for happy. I still have the studs. They can tear you apart, I gotta tell you. But I keep saying they're only temporary. And after they're over, I'm happy again. And the second decision that I made, the second choice, is that I'm keeping the streak for as long as I'm comfortable doing it, and I need it because the smiles that I'm getting and the smiles that I'm giving, they feed my soul. And somehow they help to fill in that huge hole in my heart. And there's one other thing that I gotta tell you. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm looking in the mirror, seeing if I need a little touch up or something. And I think to myself, what would David say? Now, my husband was a little bit on the conservative side, actually. So I know that he would have rolled his eyes. And he would have said, dear, that's really purple. But then he would have softened his face. And he would have looked at me with those blue eyes and given me that killer smile. Oh boy, do I miss those eyes and that smile. But he would have said, yes.